So let's
wonder now. Let's ask the real question: how long did James Cameron stare at the breastfeeding lady?
Now we're getting into the okay. So now that is a creepy one. Do you love the movies? Do you miss going to the video store, acid wash jeans, and MTV with music? I know we do. Welcome to Mike and Anthony's Soda Pop Culture Club. Me, Mike, along with my co-host, Anthony.
Niete.
Oh, gosh. Not already. Bring our take on a classic movie every Monday from the 80s, 90s, and beyond, during which we'll play the game and open up a 6-pack of favorite scenes. We also point out a couple of generic scenes as well. And at the end of the movie, we'll rate the show. Or rate the movie. Yeah, the show. If we rate our show, it's a fucking 1. But if we're rating this movie, it's somewhere between 1 and 24 cans.
Somewhere
between there. 1 can is probably...
getting a migraine an hour and 45 minutes into this fucking movie.
Or if you're in the movie, just being in the fucking movie. And 24 cans is Rose moving over, maybe letting you be on the door. Maybe. I don't know.
What? No, I think 24 would be in the car with Kate Winslet. Don't you think?
Well, you're going to die eventually either way. I don't know how I feel about that. But hey, before
you died, you had a good time.
But before we get to all that, we want to let you know some things. We want to do movies suggested by our listeners, and that means you. So if you're listening to this, there's 4 ways you can do this. 1 is join our Patreon. If you suggest it there, we do it. We get to it. We make it happen. 2, if you want us to do a movie and you just can't wait and you want it to be done like the next thing we do, you go to Venmo or PayPal and go at Soda Pop Culture Club. Tell us the movie you want to do and send us $25. We're easy. We're cheap, too.
We are very easy.
Plus, we have a 3rd way for you to suggest movies. Not only do we have Patreon, we also have a website, sodapopcultureclub.com. You can buy some merch, see our schedule, all that stuff. And there's also a movie suggestion portal on there where, you can suggest it, but if we get to it, we get to it. That's how that works. It's if we like it, right. That too. And then Anthony has a way that he would like people to know.
Yeah, leave us a review on Apple Podcasts. In your review, make a little mention of a movie you'd like us to do. That also gets you on the list.
That'll put you on the list. And let's also not forget, we want to share this show with your friends if you really don't like them. And check out our Instagram at Mike and Andrew, where we post memes, but mostly of late. It's been memorials. It's been a sad couple weeks of people passing away. And I just feel weird about putting our movie ones out when there's all these things happening lately.
So much goddamn tragedy in the celebrity world.
I will say that. And I just want to say, if for a mental health thing, if you feel blue, if you feel low, if we aren't helping you get better, find someone who will and get called. Call someone. Don't sit in your own thoughts and don't think of how much you want it and think about how much you want to just get better and find someone.
There's your PSA. If you're feeling down and blue, do not fucking listen to us because that ain't going to help.
Yeah. Unless it does, then just, hey, we got 100-something episodes. Go back and unblue yourself. However you.
Oh, no.
It sounded so wrong.
Yeah, unblue yourself.
During my PSA, I use the word unblue.
Get the blue out of the balls.
Yes. Okay, Anthony, that's it. I'm done with this intro. But PSA, is it 988 you can dial now, they say? If you need help and you're thinking of ending your own life, call 988. 988. We don't need any more of that. Okay.
You got deep.
Sorry.
You got deeper than the Titanic.
Well, it's because of our damn memorials. The last one I posted was of a dancer. I don't know if you saw it. His name is Twitch. And he was on a show called So You Think You Can Dance, like the 2nd season. And ever since then, I watched the guy and followed his career. He's a great dude. But you just don't know, even if a person's a great dude and lights up a room, you really don't know. Because the still waters, as they say, they run deep, right? Like a guy like that looks all good on the outside, but you never know what really is going on in someone's life. You just don't know.
Exactly.
So, yes.
Every time we finish an episode, I hide the knives.
All right. So,
take it.
Is there anything you want to say before I run this damn trailer?
Yeah. It's really random too.
Well, okay.
Nothing to do with it. But I just finished the other day the 3-part documentary on Hulu on Von Dutch.
Oh, I saw that you had posted on that.
That was interesting.
Or Von Douche, as someone said on your comments.
Von Douche.
Is it? I don't know if I should watch that. I don't.
You should actually. It's interesting.
Okay.
I'll give you a spoiler though. It's not really a spoiler if you knew about it. The funniest thing to me about it is at the very end you find out, kind of what's happened to people. The guy that they brought on as the main designer, left to start Ed Hardy.
Well, that makes so much sense. And
that's amazing.
And it makes you wonder, is somewhere in there the guy who created Affliction?
He's got yes.
Yeah, they all have to be the same.
This vein. Is just my God.
Yeah, well, maybe we should be designing clothing.
We should actually. We should be. I was actually thinking about that, and I think we really should get more into that because the podcast fucking sucks. But we got a brand.
But we got a brand. All right, are you ready for that trailer?
Then this could be our VH1 Behind the Clothing episode.
Behind the clothing. All right, here you go.
Let's go.
Titanic was called the ship of dreams, and it was. It really was.
All right, open your eyes.
We go full ahead! Put your backs into it!
Got everything I need right here with me. I figure life's a gift, and I don't intend on wasting it. You never know what hand you're gonna get dealt next. You learn to take life as it comes at you.
When the ship docks, I'm getting off with you.
Never let go.
That oh God, I was like, is that from the car scene or is that when the ship's going down?
You're on crack. But before we get to the game, which is what we're going to do next, I do want to say once again, like I said, we were talking about the memorials, right? I haven't done a memorial because this person's not dead, but Celine Dion's career is pretty much dead, isn't it? After what we found out about her, she has something where she can't, stiff or something. I don't know. And it's really sad. So, it's kind of sad to hear that music.
It's sad. I you know what? She's done well for herself.
She has. But have I ever told you that she's my ex-wife? And that the story behind that? Have I ever told you how she's
Celine Dion is your ex-wife?
Yes. I've never told you the story. See, I wasn't going to tell this, but then I thought, this is a good one.
Okay.
This is a good one. This is many moons ago. This is probably, actually, even before Titanic, sadly. Okay. She's pretty big even before that. She probably was part of the reason this movie did well. I'll get to that. But when I was a young man, I was sleeping so deep, and I had one of those dreams that was extremely real. You know what I'm talking about? The ones where everything is just so realistic. And in the dream, I married Celine Dion.
Okay.
And when we got done with our wedding and everything, and we were going to go on our honeymoon, she said she had to take a separate plane because she's a very busy person. She had to go do something first and was going to meet me where I was going. Right? Okay. So she gets on this plane and goes off. And I get on my plane, and a lot of her family and friends are on that plane, probably flying to wherever they're going. And while I'm in the air with them, they go, hey, before we get to our layover, wherever that's at, I forget where. But they're like, hey, she's not really going to do a thing. She actually has another person on the side. And my heart gets broken at that moment, right? Like, I'm like, no, they can't. Why would they tell me this? This sucks. So as soon as I land at this layover, I fly to where she's supposed to be to do this thing. And I'm outside in the snow and the cold looking through a glass at a restaurant with her with another man. And I am weeping. I am fucking weeping, crying my heart out. And I wake up with all of these fucking tears in real life. And my wife wondered, what the fuck is wrong with me? I had tears. I had feelings. So I'm weeping, and that sucks. I felt all the emotions of being married and being cheated on. And my wife sees me there with all these emotions, and she wonders what the fuck is wrong with me. Because I just woke up that way. And when I told her, I got laughed at a little bit. And now, if we hear Celine Dion or talk about her, if she says she's my ex-wife, you know why. From now on, that I have the real emotions of loss from that relationship that I never really had. And it sucks. So I don't know if you've ever experienced that in your life.
That kind of dream? No. That's the worst fucking story I've ever heard in the history of my entire fucking life.
Or fun. You could say it's fun. I mean, what if you had that? What if you had that feel like you married Ryan Reynolds and lost him?
Don't go there. That's way different. That would suck.
Which one's a bigger star?
You're Ryan Reynolds.
Celine Dion. Celine Dion could buy Ryan Reynolds. You know this, right?
You know what?
What?
Wouldn't you rather replace Ryan Reynolds with Celine Dion in that dream, though?
No, not back then. You got to remember, this is like 1997, 96, right before this movie came out. I know it was before Titanic came out.
That was just a horrible, horrible story.
Well, it really hurt, though. I'm telling you, man. It was so bad. I don't even know how to put it. But that's my Celine Dion connection. So I always have my heart always beats a little different for her, even when I didn't like her music. So I didn't like. That's the funny part about it. At the time, I would always bitch about her songs being on the radio and how they were just so boring half the time. And then I have a fucking dream. There you go.
Now, were you back in the day attracted to Celine Dion then?
I mean, she wasn't an unattractive lady then, but it wasn't necessarily someone I went out and bought a poster for. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
So there we go. All right, are you ready for the game now?
Yes, I'm ready to move on. Please.
All right, here's the game. The game's where I'm going to read Anthony some reviews, 3 of them to be exact. 2 of them are real, 1 of them is fake, and all he has to do is point it out. It's something he hasn't been able to do very well, but it's what he has to do, and you can do it too. And if you point it out, well, you're just better than Anthony, and that's just how it goes. And I don't think that's hard to do. Being better than Anthony is something most of us do daily.
The bar is so low, it's probably underground.
Yeah. Are you ready?
Sure.
All right.
Do the game.
The first one. Here we go. Stephanie Zacharek of Salon.com. Glub, glub, glub. Carl Fox of the New York Times. A masterful stroke by Cameron that will send hearts soaring. Susan Stark, Detroit News. As a spectacle, Titanic sets a new standard. As a romantic drama, it's substandard.
Third one.
All right. Why is that?
Susan Stark.
Who is she?
Game of Thrones.
Well, you would be wrong, sir. Susan Stark is a real person, though, as well, from Detroit, because Carl Fox is Charlie Sheen's dad in Wall Street. The movie. It's Martin Sheen. Actually, it's literally his dad, like he literally is his dad. So Martin Sheen was Carl Fox in that movie.
Fuck off.
So people, you see how he thought he was so confident. I didn't even ask him why. You know why? Because I just wanted to let him know. I just couldn't hold it in. I could, it's like I have a problem with that.
All right, I'm wrong. Just like always. Now, breakdown by the numbers. Directed by James Cameron and starring Kate Winslet, Leonardo DiCaprio, Billy Zane, Kathy Bates, Bill Paxton, Gloria Stewart, and Victor Garber as Captain Thomas Andrews. If you don't know. Got me with that. Tried to get me with that one before, bitch. Titanic was released on December 19th, 1997, taking in $2.202 billion with a B at the box office against a $200 million budget. It scores 7.9 out of 10 on IMDb and 87% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Now, I just want to say that 2.2 billion, I think that's between both releases of the 3D and the original. I don't think it did not make 2.2 billion on its original run.
Yeah, not on the original, and then it also was re-released.
Yeah.
Several years back. Now, that's a great memory of mine. The re-release. Because I saw it in the theaters originally. I think I saw it twice because I feel like it was the second time I went to see it. I literally was getting a migraine like a little over an hour into it. Like I was getting a fucking headache. So this was like several years back when they did the re-release in theaters. So my wife and I and my sister and her boyfriend went to see it, which was awesome because we snuck booze into it. We got fucking hammered. So my wife and my sister snuck wine in.
Nice.
And then I think me and my friend me and Tom were having, pretty sure vanilla vodka mixed with like a big gulp of Coke.
Is that the Titanic drink? I don't
literally know. By, the end of this 3-hour fucking epic, sloshed.
A boozy vanilla Coke.
It was.
That's what that is.
Yep.
That is pretty awesome. But I got something for you. You talk about who starred in this movie. Do you want to know who almost starred in this movie? And I think I would be more interested in this.
I wouldn't.
Personally. Gwyneth Paltrow and Matthew McConaughey were almost Jack and Rose, maybe. Cameron wouldn't confirm, but based on the quote he had, it seemed it was what happened. So he said he wouldn't confirm or deny, but he says some people maybe should have taken an opportunity instead of thinking it wasn't for them. Or like they said something like, I don't think this is a big enough project or something at the time. But, I think that would have been interesting to see.
I don't at all. Do you want to see Gwyneth Paltrow posing naked for a picture? Because I sure as hell don't.
Why not? Back then.
She is not. I am not. This goes back to the Celine Dion thing, okay? I'm sorry. I have never found Gwyneth Paltrow to be attractive. There are some people, and this is just me personally. I'm sorry. I don't think she's attractive. Mm-hmm. I don't think Rihanna is attractive.
Wow.
I don't get it. I'm sorry. I'm not like saying she's ugly. I'm like, I don't think she's like this super hot person everybody thinks she is.
I get it. I mean, we all have our thing.
Giselle is not attractive either. I'm sorry. But what the fuck?
What, Tom Brady's ex-wife?
Yeah.
Okay.
I do not find her hot either.
I get it. I mean, I understand. I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand why you wouldn't. I mean,
let me tell you.
It's all subjective, right? Like,
look, Giselle, Rihanna, Gwyneth Paltrow. Don't want to see none of them in Titanic.
I think I know why, though. I don't think, and it goes back to what Anthony likes the most, and I don't think he's seen their feet. And I think he would really be attracted to them if he saw some of their feet were attractive. Like, I think maybe that would sway his opinions. I think.
Why are you projecting your foot fetish onto me?
I don't have one. I don't.
Liar.
But that's who almost is in this.
Oh my god!
I think it'd have been a much more interesting movie.
Makes you horny.
Matthew McConaughey was Jack. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I don't think so.
I think it works.
No.
I think it works.
No.
Could you see him playing the poker scene a lot better? Come on. All right, boys. Here we are. And I could just see him doing his thing and making that. You would still have
right ahead. All right,
baby.
Iceberg right ahead, baby.
You know what I like about sinking ships? I don't know what he would say, but he'd say it. All right, so let's get to this movie. And I want to say this right now. I'm going to break this up into two movies, really. Because I feel there are two movies in here.
There's at least two movies in here. Because you got two VHS tapes when it came out.
Yeah. The first movie is the love story. The second movie is the tragedy movie, like the Towering Inferno or some shit like that.
Right there.
Yeah.
When they spot the iceberg, that's when you had to put in the second tape.
Yeah. So the way that this is broken up, that's the way I'm going to talk about it. I want to talk about the movies as the first part, and I want to talk about the second part. But before I get to that, I want to talk about what I feel about this movie in general. And what I never was into it. Like a lot of people, I did not see it in the theater. My wife did. I did not. And I barely watched it. Somehow I have seen this movie, but I know I have never sat through it all the way once until this week when I watched it twice.
Okay.
So I never have sat through it all the way. Because why? I can't. But and the only reason I sat through it this time is because I watch it while I'm at work. Because I can't go anywhere. I got to fucking work. So it's like it's playing. I can't get up and just walk away. So it is what it is. But I think this movie brokers in a couple things. I think that I don't think it's as good as its hype, is what I'm about to say. I think people have sentimentality about the Titanic. I think people like the Celine Dion song. And I believe this movie has a smell of it, a taste that we now have of the Hallmark formula. Like it has a smell of it. Like somehow I felt it.
I don't think so.
I smelled it somewhere in there. I was
get no Hallmark out of this.
You get none? The only thing not Hallmark about this is her breasts. That's the only thing.
That would add a little more appeal to some Hallmark movies for sure.
But I feel people watch this, and here's my thing. Mm-hmm. They have what I call Titanic goggles on. There are people who obsess over that tragedy that if you put anything around it, they're going to be obsessed to watch it and be into it. And so the goggles are on to want this to be a good product, even if it's substandard.
I don't think so.
Oh, I believe so.
I'm going to tell you right now. I'll tell you right now why. As much fucking movie as that, or money as that movie made, and the demographic that went to fucking see it, didn't give a shit about that boat. They wanted to see the love story of Kate and Leah.
No.
Yes.
I disagree because I think the people who went and watched that, you're right. I will give you this. The love story wrapped around the tragedy is the draw to it. But the problem to me is, and this is why I want to break it into two movies, is there is two movies. There's a romantic movie and there's a tragedy movie. And to me, both of them on their own are not that good.
Okay.
They are not that good. I mean, like, I do not get the love story thing as much. We'll get to that here in a second. And in the tragedy movie, it's like I'm not getting enough of the tragedy. Like you know,
did you get enough tragedy out of that?
No, actually, wow. and I want to call this. I want to call my 6-pack early on one of these. I called the ending on this. I knew that fucking boat.
The boat was going to sink.
Yes,
good job.
I called it though.
Good job.
Called it. The sinking. I called it. That's my 6-pack
idiot.
there. Fucking it. So yeah, but no. Let's get to the first part of this movie.
I'll get my first 6-pack just because I'm.
Go ahead.
Because it's mine. Kate Winslet, the painting.
Okay, I mean you could do that. Kate Winslet's a good 6-pack.
Topless Kate Winslet.
And let's get into that. Okay, so remember I'm talking about the first part of this movie being a romantic movie. I don't think it's a great romantic movie. I don't believe the chemistry was that great.
Okay.
Watching this, I think that this the celebrity that came from this movie was more about the hype of the movie than the actual performance. If you watch Leonardo DiCaprio, his acting is not that great, especially during that fucking card game. That was shitty acting. And he had one of my generics. I just want to say it right now. The accents, Fabrizio. Come on, I want to talk like an Italian. That guy was so fucking fake. I just
So Leonardo DiCaprio was not a good actor in Titanic, is your point here.
100%. He was not great performance. Winslet was way better. Winslet was probably the best performance in this movie. I feel, well, here's what I want to say. They're all characters, right? And I get that. But they're all caricatures of those characters. So, like Fabrizio and his accent is a caricature of that character. I believe Jack is a caricature of his character.
Okay.
I believe Hockley, is that his name Hockley, the Billy Zane character. He's an over-exaggerated caricature of what that guy is. Like, all of them have these exaggerated parts of Kathy Bates playing Molly Brown.
Yeah.
She's exaggerated caricature of that person. It's like it's all exaggerated and it's just feels icky. It just doesn't feel good, you know?
Okay.
And even Rose, even though she's the best, she still has this woe is me bullshit going on the whole fucking time. I don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, but you don't. You agree? Okay, thanks.
What we're gonna do here is I'm gonna let you give your opinion on all that, and I'm going to choose to ignore it. Every word of it.
Why?
I'm gonna let go of that, just like I let go of your Celine Dion dream. It's over. It's done. I'm gonna pretend I didn't hear any of it because it's stupid.
But come on, man. When they meet, think of how is that? She's about to jump off the ship, and he does the whole, well, if you go in, I gotta go in.
Yeah.
I found that dorky.
Well, you found it dorky because you would never fucking do that.
Well, no, I would just grab her and say, you're not going in.
No, you wouldn't. You back up because you don't want to get splashed.
Whatever.
You're like,
I
I'm
know
wearing
what I would
my
do.
new kicks. I don't want to get water on them.
Whatever. This you're telling me. Okay, well then give me your opinion of this first half of the movie. Give me your opinion of the love story and the chemistry. What makes you think it's good? That's what I want to know.
Because it is. It just
That's
is.
not.
What do you mean? What makes? I think it was well acted, and I do think they have great chemistry.
You think that was watch it? Did you? How many times did you watch it this week?
I've watched this thing fucking Jesus Christ. Are you kidding me? You know how many times I've watched this damn movie?
Hopefully not more than twice.
More than
3
twice.
times. Hopefully
More
the
than
first
twice.
time you watched it and didn't watch it until this week.
More than 3 times.
Because tell me how that romance isn't subpar. It's predictable. It's predictable. And not just because the movie came out in 1997. It is totally predictable down to the T of the conflict and what is happening here. It is not anything innovative. It's not great. The meet cute isn't really that cute. I mean, as a romance, it is blah. It is not great. And then like I said, the acting is a little mechanical. I mean, the best acting came from what's his name, Victor Garber and Rose. I mean, those are Kate Winslet. Those are to me the 2 best performances in this movie.
Whatever. I thought it was well acted. You're an idiot. Let's move on.
You don't. I can't move on. That's my whole thought.
I can't stay on this point because I disagree. You're wrong. I like it. You don't. That's fine.
So you're saying like when this movie isn't full of platitudes as well? Like what's the life's a gift. Plan on not wasting it. You do the hand you're dealt. I mean, that whole thing, that was, I just didn't feel it.
All life is a game of luck.
It is not. It is not a game of luck. I guess it was more lucky when the Titanic was still floating. But
I'll tell you, the only person actually that I don't like in this movie.
Really? You like everyone in this movie?
Can't stand Rose's mom.
Why? She's at least the one who explains to you why Rose should be this manic moron trying to jump off a ship because she's trapped.
She's fucking treating Rose like she's her Macaulay Culkin.
No, she's
using her to maintain her status in life.
No. That is not what it is. It wasn't about status.
Yes, it is.
It was about money. They are about to lose all their money and lose all their possessions.
Exactly.
That's
because she doesn't want to be poor and get a real job.
Those are possessions. I wouldn't call it status.
She doesn't want it's status. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, she doesn't want to get a real job. Who
she
does?
Wants her daughter to marry that cock-knocking sumbitch so she doesn't have to get a job as a fucking seamstress.
I get it. But to me, that's a safe play if you're Rose. Just deal with it. Don't cry about it, you know?
Are you kidding me? The guy's an asshole.
Hey, he's kind of an asshole later on. We do
get kind of an asshole.
At the beginning of the movie, we don't know that he's an asshole the way he is.
Yes, we do.
Why?
Because every fucking time he talks, you know he's an asshole.
He's Billy Zane. Billy Zane just sounds like an asshole. It doesn't mean he is an asshole.
He's a rich fucking prick.
Well, he's rich, and so you think she is too at the beginning of the movie when she gets out of the car with the hat and the thing.
Exactly.
Well, it's not that impressive. She even was an asshole to the ship.
So you don't like her because she actually has feelings and a soul.
No, I like
scruples.
her. No, here's the thing. I like her, but I feel that the problem is Jack is a distraction, right? Like, I don't think there's this big romance that's would have gone on after this boat. Jack could never support someone like this. She's just having a boatmance, as we call it in the cruising life, right? She's having a little bit of a boatmance, and and when they're done, they would have been done with each other. I don't think that goes on much longer after that because he has no home. Oh, my home's the Titanic. You know, he's a dumbass like that. Like, I don't have a place to go, although he does. He's from, what was it, Wauwatosa in Minnesota or Wisconsin or something. That lake that didn't exist that he, at the time he mentioned it. Did you know that didn't exist?
Like Titicaca.
Wauwatosa, I believe it's called. But my point is, it's like they wouldn't last. They're
Falls.
nothing. And that's why I just don't believe the romance. Like, I believe she would want her picture drawn. That would have been an erotic thing back then. I believe she wanted to have hot car sex. I believe that. But I don't believe the connection just didn't feel like, I didn't feel like you know,
right.
like
I'm going to explain something to you right now.
That you know how much I love rom-coms.
No, you stop right now. I'm going to debunk everything you just fucking said.
Yeah.
With one simple fucking thing. If you want to talk about how you don't believe she would have fucking left with Jack and she would have fucking stayed in that situation, at the end of the goddamn movie, she's 137 fucking years old and she still has the goddamn Heart of the Ocean and never fucking sold it. She could have retired, had her children's children retire if she had taken that thing to a pawn shop, let alone gotten a decent value out of it in an auction.
That's a generic in general.
So don't even tell me
she throws that thing in the fucking ocean.
I know that. Yes, I get that.
Okay, so let's not even go there. And that's one thing I wanted to call about this. I haven't. You know what? We've been talking so much about Rose and them that we forget that this movie really doesn't take place on the Titanic.
You know, the other thing. Sorry,
she's narrating a story.
Not the fact that she could have fucking taken care of several generations of her family. She's also going to let that fucking boat keep going out and going out and going out searching for this thing. And still probably never find it.
Yeah. I find it hard to believe that she kept it all those years, because here's why, since we're going to talk about that, what does that fucking diamond have to do with Jack?
What do you mean, what does it have to do with Jack?
What does the Heart of the Ocean diamond have to do with Jack himself? Not a fucking damn thing. The only thing it means to him was the framing that they were trying to use it to put him in cuffs. It was actually a negative thing for their relationship. It was a thing dividing them. Why would she have kept it? It makes no fucking sense.
Nope. Hold on. I would say there's two ways you can look at that, and it's one or the other or both. Number one, it's all she's got left from the whole experience. Number
she has
two,
her memories.
I think keeping it, the main thing it also did is keep asshole from getting it. So
he already got his insurance claim from it.
Nobody knows that it's there, that it exists. It keeps, so he has no way to find her, because if word gets out, it's like winning the lottery. If word gets out,
whatever, doesn't matter.
Are knocking on your door.
But throwing it back in the ocean like it's some relic of their relationship, it is not. It's a relic of how a relationship was trying to be destroyed. That's why it makes no fucking sense to me how special that thing is to her. It means nothing. It should have just sat in her drawer at home. Or she should just gave it to Bill Paxton and said, yeah, fuck Hockley. I'm glad you have it now.
Could have done that.
That to me makes more sense. And I just want to say before I go on,
you know what? I think she should have given it to him, because that's the least she can do since he found her picture.
And her mirror and all that stuff.
And her mirror, yes. Yeah. Her dilapidated grooming items.
My generic, I just wanted to call it early in this movie, was Bill Paxton. Any movie he's in, I kind of don't like.
Are you serious?
He's very bit part. And he is bit part in this, but I just don't like his attitude half the time.
Oh, I love Bill Paxton.
I know you do.
Loved. Rest in peace.
Yeah, he is dead. He is dead. But yeah, so that's one part of this romance I don't get. That's one more thing.
I could do without the hoop earring, though.
Yeah, well, and the weird hair.
He can't pull. He
tried to look cool. He had that tried to get that rock star treasure hunter look going.
Didn't work. You definitely count that as a generic.
I mean, he was a reality TV star look before it was a thing. I think on that, I'll give him that, ahead of his time. But but this whole romance, this first part of the movie, that's why I'm just not a fan of it. I don't know how to put it. I mean, I do have a 6-pack in there. I do like the party scene. I find that fun in the sense that I kind of like to see how much fun. Well, and this goes to part of my reasons I don't like this movie, but I like to see how much fun the poor people are going. But see, that's the thing about this movie. People don't identify with the rich characters like they do the poorer characters. The people who put $2.2 billion in the box office are people going because they identify with the over-characterized, unsinkable Molly Brown played by Kathy Bates, right? They like that. They like Jack because he's the poor guy punching his way up. And they like the party. Oh, they have the most fun because they know how to drink and dance.
Exactly.
Not like those stodgy brandy and sherry swillers up there, you know? So that to me, while I like it as a 6-pack, I also hate the fact that that's what they play to is your base sensibilities so that you like it because of that.
What do you want them to do?
I don't know. Make it more organic. It feels too forced. It's like you're forcing me into the situation because you know I'm going to identify with it more instead of trying to push my comfort or boundaries on that. You know, like it's too simple. It's very simple. It's a paint by numbers. That's my problem. This romance part is a paint by numbers, and it's not even that good of a paint by numbers. That's my thing. So when you go to that party, you know, you get the expected shots that you should get. Like it's not, I don't know how to put it. It's not like great. It's not like
I feel like you're just saying shit to hear yourself talk.
I do love to hear myself talk.
I
do a podcast, asshole.
You're making fucking arguments that are stupid, which you do a lot anyways in general, but today they're really bad.
Whatever.
I feel like you got it in your head that I want to pick apart one of the highest grossing movies ever just to show I can.
No.
Yes.
That's not true. But I want people. But here's what I will tell you.
I'd rather believe that you're doing that or that you're just this stupid.
No,
because it's one or the other.
I don't want to further propagate the idea that something is exceptional that has mediocre shit going on in it. I would rather be honest and truthful of what is mediocre about this movie.
Go ahead.
Than lie to somebody and say because it was so successful, it was great. That is not true at all. That's why I think it's more about Titanic goggles and the song and the hype of it and that Jack and Rose romance. While it was great and it swept people into it and created this nostalgia for that doesn't mean it was quality. I mean, think about it this way.
Here's the thing. You got to understand, okay? There have been plenty of movies that have been hyped to the max, big fucking budgets, and the audience is like, no, this fucking sucks. And you know what? It's usually because it does suck.
Yes.
This is not one of those films.
Well, we are going to do on our next podcast, we're going to do a movie called Gremlins, right?
We are.
I don't want to pop people's perceptions yet, but do you know what its Rotten Tomatoes score is?
I do.
And what is that, Anthony?
It's 1 point off of this one.
That's right. So you're telling me the greatest fucking movie of all time that's made $2.2 billion.
It's the greatest movie of all time.
The greatest love story of all is no more appealing to the masses than Phoebe Cates and this fucking asshole with the Muppet. I mean, come on. Come on. That's my point. It is
is stupid.
If this were that good, if it were that great, the people would look at it and have a 99% or 100% on Rotten Tomatoes. It is not as good as its revenue, and the performances are not as good as we remember. We just want to remember. We want to have the nostalgia. We want to have the goggles. We want to love it because it was so big and it had such a romance wrapped around a tragedy. I think it's more of what we want than what was really there. And I'd rather be honest with people and say, what really was there is this. I understand if you feel it and you connect to it, but just remember when you watch the next time, look how mechanical the acting was. Look how this line was delivered. Like it looked like he just read it off of the page and then recited it. Or, just, it didn't feel natural. It didn't feel good. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm talking down to the performance. I'm not going just like, just a dog on it. I mean, I really watched this thing, like I said, twice.
I watched it way more than that, and I disagree.
In this week, I'm talking within the last 3 days.
I disagree.
So,
That's all.
I've watched it too many fucking times. And I still want to say fuck Fabricio's accent. Still want to say that.
I agree with that.
Now, I do have a question, though. You know, the drawings, they found?
Yes.
How long did Jack stare at the breastfeeding lady to draw her? Like, how creepy was he? Did she know? I mean, think about that. There was a breastfeeding lady drawing in there, and people don't like to be watched. That's very creepy.
I will say. Oh, I got to throw another 6-pack too, by the way.
Oh, go ahead.
I always did like the paintings. Something Picasso.
Oh, that's another base humor. But that's a base humor thing. You're pointing out the generic part of it. That it's something that everyone understands what Picasso is. Right. And if we go, oh, he's nobody, then everybody will be like, oh, I'm in on the joke. It's very base, right?
I like it. But the thing of it is, it's funny you think about so many Picassos got fucking ruined when that ship went down too.
Oh yeah. Chagall. We heard it. Monet. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fuck them. Well, it's the Titanic. What can you say?
Do you just want to skip to the end and rate this? Because I feel like that's all you're getting at here.
No. Because we gotta get through here.
You just want to pretend you got a big dick at the end and be like, I'm gonna.
I just want to say, while I thought Kathy Bates' character was a caricature, I will say it is kind of a 6-pack to have a character like the unsinkable Molly Brown in a movie. Just interesting to have that. She's supposed to be and you can obviously see what she's supposed to do for the movie. She's supposed to bridge you and Jack with the rich people. Mm-hmm. So that you can feel like you're being led into the club and someone's giving you here you go.
Here's the other thing though. She's the person I think you want to identify with the most, because that's how most normal people would want to be. That you came into money, but you still had your sensibilities about you when you did.
Yeah.
You weren't born into being a prick.
She overplays it a little, but yeah. That's my only... Well, I like the character.
I don't think she overplays it. I think she gets so much enjoyment of that as like...
She likes fucking with people?
I think that character loves fucking with people and making the rich people feel fucking uncomfortable.
I'll give you that. I will concede to that point.
Because it's right.
But I want to say, go back to the sketches that you may not know, is that all sketches were done by James Cameron.
Yep, I did know that.
Okay. So let's
ask the real question. How long did James Cameron stare at the breastfeeding lady?
Now we're getting into the... Okay, so now that is a creepy one. Okay.
Yes.
Unless he may have got permission. I don't know. Or he may have gotten it off of somebody else's picture and drew a picture of a picture. And who knows? At that point, we're into this deep meta universe of who really watched a tit sucker for a half hour.
Yes.
That's
wouldn't it have been great flipping through those like in a bonus scene?
We never got to see the one-legged prostitute.
But wouldn't it have been great that there was like a picture of a robotic hand?
Oh yeah. I thought maybe at the end we should have gotten the payoff of the one-legged prostitute picture.
We really should have, yes.
Because he really... She's like, oh... He's like, how beautiful she is. And she's like, oh. And I'm like, what did he draw? What did he...
I'm assuming we got some hoo-hoo in there.
Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. So you never know. So I want to get now...
All those things you got, it's the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. You just have to leave it to your imagination.
Yes. And I want to get to the second half of this movie. Because the first half,
tragedy.
There's the romance and... Jack doesn't want to be left out and, all that. Gotta live life. Rose, you gotta live life. Take it.
Each day to the fullest.
Platitude, Rose. Platitude, Rose.
I gotta draw you naked. We gotta go have sex in the car. We gotta go get in people's faces, which generic, obviously, the spitting scene. Let's get that out of the way. You knew that.
I know it is. Oh, okay. I knew you would say that.
Oh, yes. Gross.
But the thing is I blame this whole thing, the whole Titanic sinking in this movie, on Rose, really. Because
You blame her for the Titanic sinking?
In this movie. The way they dramatized it, yes.
Okay.
Because her with Jack is what distracted the watchers, and they were looking down at her and Jack about to get it on in a hallway and kiss and stuff. And then they look, and then they turn around and are like, "Oh no, a fucking iceberg!" So she distracts the people who are supposed to be watching the fucking boat.
So you think that 10 seconds is the difference?
10 seconds is 10. But think of how much if they'd have gotten that extra 10 seconds to turn, they may have gotten turned enough to where it was more minimal damage.
You blame dipshit for telling them to turn on the other fucking burners. Because if they were going at a speed they should be going at,
they wouldn't have hit
the damn iceberg
that hard. If they hit it, it wouldn't have been that bad, or they would, and if it probably would have been a glancing blow because it wouldn't have been at that speed. Yeah, that definitely, the hubris of the captain and the person who built the ship was based on this movie was what did it in.
There's so much, and then the bullshit, not enough lifeboats.
That was something, that was
aesthetics.
that was for aesthetics. Yeah, I mean, but the dude wanted to put him there, and she saw it. That dumb lady, because women don't know shit back then,
And let's be honest too. You know what? The surprising thing is that they even fucking sounded alarms for the lower level.
Yeah,
be like, "Hey, first and second class, get on the boats."
Well, it was more women and children, but they didn't let the women and children of the third class get in. Yeah, that was the problem. They let the women and children of the first and second class in first, and that kind of sucks. That's like, how do you value a life that way? I don't understand.
You know what? I think we still have that same issue today. So whatever.
Yeah, well, you're right. We do. We do. I mean, when you think about it, we really do. I mean, even during COVID, I'm sure we could find instances where wealthy people had opportunities to stay healthier and better, obviously just because they have money. And we still had to send our third class out to do all those jobs to keep supply chains running and things like that. So when you look at it that way, yeah, you're right. I mean, even a tragedy today can be a microcosm. Titanic can be a microcosm of how that works. So yeah, but as a tragedy movie, felt myself wanting more in the second half, because the best parts of it were they were running around trying to find a way to get up and out and get onto a boat or to keep from sinking and drowning. To me, that was like the best parts of this. And the parts that got in the way was the very, like I said, didn't enjoy the romance angle as much.
I know you didn't.
So that got in the way with Hockley, trying to buy his way onto a boat and still having a guy chase them down, even though shit's going down. Like, it seems to me that in that scenario, some of those things wouldn't have happened. Just some of that shit with Hockley, like at the end where he's still trying to fuck him over, all that shit. I feel that when the shit hit the fan to the point where people's lives were at stake, I don't feel that those things would have mattered as much as getting off the boat or ship or whatever you want to call it and being safe. Like, I feel that it went a little too long with that. But so that's why I wanted more of the getting stuck inside the ship and trying to get out, like Towering Inferno type shit. That would have been a better movie.
But Hockley knows this is his chance. He can kill him, get his revenge. The body's going to be drowned anyway. He's
already got his revenge. He already thinks Jack's going to die because he's not going to get on a lifeboat like everyone else that is in third class. So to me, I don't even know that you really care at that point, because how many hundreds of people are going to die because there's not enough boats, and that you're probably rich enough you can get on one and they can't.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to me, you've had your revenge because you're rich. In his world.
He's petty. It's not enough.
I guess.
It's not enough.
I guess he's petty.
I want to fucking shoot you, and I want it to be the bullet from the gun that I'm holding. I want to make sure I'm the one that kills you, not the sea.
Let's get to what it all comes down to. And, we didn't talk about some of the famous scenes. I want to get into that. I forgot, before we get to the end, the famous scene of "I'm the king of the world" and all that bullshit.
Yes.
Yeah. But people forget is Fabrizio ruining it with his accent right after that.
"I'll never forget you.
I think I see the Statue of Liberty way out there." He says that. It's a really small. Oh, rest in peace. Did he die? I think he died.
I'm assuming he did.
Yeah, Fabrizio.
Yes, he did.
That's why this movie can't be as good as it is. People think it is. Just that character alone.
You were
that
happy he died. You hated his fucking accent so much you wanted him to die.
Yeah. Well, that guy's been in other movies and he never had that accent ever. So I forget who it is,
He never had that accent.
The guy who played Fabrizio. Who was that guy? He's been in some movies we like, I thought.
He did not have that accent. That was not an accent. That was me trying to do an accent.
Danny Nucci. What did he do? Danny Nucci. Crimson Tide. He was one of the, I think the driver, like the pilot. The Rock. Yeah, he's been in a lot of movies. That's why I say he was in a lot of movies back then. And it was just like, I knew he always played like a New York Italian, but he never sounded like that.
Yeah, I'll definitely say he and Rose's mom, my least favorite characters.
Rose's mom, I understand not liking her because of what she wants her daughter to do. But as a character in the movie that creates the plot device for that romance, you need her. So when you tell me the romance is great, you better hope she's a part of it, by the way.
She's a fucking tag-along.
She's the antagonist.
She's the tag-along.
Whatever. You're the tag-along.
She's Macaulay Culkin's parents.
You're the tag-along on this podcast. I want to get to the final.
My sights higher.
I do want to, I want to get to the final thing of this tragedy part on the second half. It's obvious the one thing everybody talks about, and it is a generic for me. It is the door, of course. Could there have been a room for a second person on that door?
Yeah, we always got to go back to that conversation.
And if they were, and then later on, she gets off the door like an idiot and goes over to find that whistle on that guy. But there's other shit floating out there. Why couldn't Jack have found another piece of shit to float on?
Let me tell you, the dead child in the water.
Yeah.
Fuck. Horrible.
You know what? But that's what. See, but that doesn't make the movie good.
I'm not saying. I didn't say that made the movie good. I said it's horrible.
But that's one of those little things that people look at, and be like, "Oh my gosh, they did that so well." I mean, the CGI doesn't even hold up as well now. But it's not whatever. The door, fuck Rose.
Yeah, he did in the car.
Maybe we never really saw it. What if it was just Heavy Petty?
I doubt it.
You think?
Do you think it was just hand jobs?
No, I don't. What I am glad they didn't do? You know what I'm glad they didn't do?
Make a sequel that she got pregnant and it was Jack's baby, and then the sequel's about the kid.
You're right about the Jack's baby thing, though. At the end of the movie, making if they really leaned into the shitty romance angle a little further, they would have put and then when I got back 9 months after the Titanic, I had my child, my first child. Like it could have done that, but they didn't. That she may have, but we don't know. I bet it was in there. I bet you dollars to fucking donuts someone pitched that idea and it was there, and it probably is on the cutting room floor somewhere. Hopefully. I mean, there's because they broker in all the basest parts of that romance angle that they have to do that one too. It would be very Hallmarky for one. Like I said, it has the smell of Hallmark to me. Some of the formula, the aw shucks romantic guy. I'm just a romantic guy who's sensitive and draws and likes to party. Whatever. Fuck him.
Wow.
Sorry. Believability is a thing for me, and I just don't. There's no believability in that character.
Okay. It's all good.
I think that's more of a desire than a reality. Like, somebody would desire to find that person. That's why they put it in the movie. They didn't put it in the movie because that's what they really would have gotten. A guy who plays cards and lives by the seat of his pants is probably a grifter, as Huxley would have called him, and a con man, and probably wouldn't be a true romantic as much as an opportunistic one who's just trying to get the money from the lady. You desire the sensitive man who's just living by the seat. He's the feather in Forrest Gump. He's just that blowing around in the wind. But that's not what he is. In reality, it's not what he would be.
So. Okay. Just speak your piece.
What? Do you have anything to say? You say nothing.
All I'm saying, all I've said the whole time is I disagree with every fucking thing you're saying.
But you don't tell me why. You don't tell me what makes it good.
I do like it because I do enjoy the acting and I do enjoy the story. And what else do you want me to tell you?
I don't know.
Jesus. Like, you're just like...
Break it down to me as to why that's an exceptional story. Where does it differ from any other story that made it special?
The actors. You're just
what made it
flaming hemorrhoid today. You were like,
you know what made it special? And I've told you this. It's the Titanic made it special. It's that it had a ticking time bomb. It's that it was on the Titanic and people had their Titanic goggles. The romance in itself, not special, not innovative, not new. We've seen it. It's been done.
Right.
There you go.
It has been. But when you have it done right with two actors that you like and that you think have chemistry, which I do, you don't, fuck you, then that makes it good.
All right. So.
Fuck you want me to tell you?
Hey, you know what? I appreciate you. I want to say I do have a fact here, a final fact. The boat sinks. But during the movie, the chef we see drinking from a flask next to Jack and Rose while the ship was sinking is based on a real person, by the way. Charles John Joffin, I think it is. I don't know how to pronounce the name. Joughin, Joffin, was an English-American chef, and he is notable for surviving in the freezing water for 2 hours.
It's crazy.
Which is a lot. He was the last survivor to leave the Titanic as he climbed on the safety rail on the outside of the ship and was just waiting to go down like on an elevator. He explained that he didn't feel the effects of the cold water as much, probably because of the consumed alcohol.
See?
So, people, public service message. This is why when you go on a cruise, you need to drink as much as you can. However, 99% of the time, people go overboard on accident because they're trying to do stupid drunk shit on the railing.
Don't do that.
So, therefore, you do heighten that risk.
Yeah.
Because there's only two ways you go over a ship. Drunken stunts or you want to go over it. So, there you go. Don't drink too much unless you really want to survive the cold water.
You are all about PSAs today.
I am all about PSAs. My PSA for this movie is, if you watch it, just remember it's two movies and see if you like both of them equally. That's all I can say about that.
There you go.
That's all I can say about that. That's all I can say.
That was bad. That was a bad one.
Well, I can't please everyone.
Oh, I got my other 6-pack too, by the way.
Oh, yeah, go ahead, man. Throw it out there.
I got to give the other one, the whole, when she's telling the story.
Oh, yeah, because we don't really talk about, we haven't talked about it.
But no, the part where the drawing is taking place and they're like, did we do it? Like, that whole crew is like so fucking turned on right now.
Oh, yeah.
Which
like, is weird when a 100-year-old lady sitting there talking to you.
I'm telling you what, she can build a cliffhanger for sure with her storytelling.
The whole narration part of it, and like I said, to me, a generic was the heart of the ocean, like we talked about earlier, where she throws it in the ocean, because I thought, man, what a meaningless gesture for an item that meant nothing to the guy you're throwing it for.
Exactly.
I thought that's one.
Like,
whatever.
Like Goose's dog tags, I get that. I totally get that. This thing's worth $1 Brazilian.
Yeah.
You could fucking end world hunger with this, but you want to drop it in the water.
I wonder if he had any more of Jack's drawings in there, because he had the whole thing.
I just thought about, I feel like this episode probably jinxed me.
Why?
Because we have a fucking leaking pool upstairs. And we're doing Titanic. I blame you for this shit.
You're going to be sinking some money into that pool.
I blame you for this shit. We already fucking have. What are you talking about?
So
Jesus.
So there it is. That's my thoughts mostly, because Anthony's thoughts are greatest movie ever. That's all I got.
Never said that either. Never fucking said that.
Well, whatever.
Said that.
I think you like it too much, though. All right, so you want to rate this thing up, or do you want me to rate it first?
Well, first, do you want to do memorabilia?
Oh, yeah. Fuck yeah.
What do you want?
Oh, what do I want? I mean, obviously the heart of the ocean would be the number one item for everyone. I want that or the door.
I want the door. I was gonna say.
Okay.
Yeah,
That or
I want
the
the
door.
door.
Yeah, door would be nice. I mean,
I want the
yeah.
door.
Or, you know what? I'll say Jack's sketchbook.
No, you know what? Not Jack's sketchbook. Rose's picture.
Well, it would be in there.
I would
So
take that.
I'd have all the pictures. I'd have the one-legged prostitute I never got to see. I'd have it
That's-
all.
You know what? That would be a good one just to find out. Okay, did that drawing really exist?
And I would display that. I would display that in the house. That would be awesome. That would be awesome. Are you wanting me to go first or you?
Seriously, one-legged prostitute though. I mean, mad props.
But
there's playing.
okay.
There's playing hurt. There's playing injured, and then there's playing with one leg.
But I'm going to say this, and there are fetishists out there that's a thing for. So really,
sure.
you fill a niche market when you are a one-legged prostitute.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure there's a foot guy who's into person with only one foot.
Like,
I mean,
it does make you wonder: is it quicker, or is it harder to switch positions?
I don't even know the legit. I can't think of the.
Like when you want to reverse on a hard cross, immediately go to guns on them. Can you do it faster that way?
I like the Top Gun reference. Yes, I think I'm going to come in inverted dive on that one.
About 2 meters. Get the Polaroid.
All right. Yeah, do you want me to rate this one up first?
Go ahead. I'll let you. I'll give you the honors today.
I don't think it's any. Obviously, I have some feelings about this movie. At the time, it was very well made for what it is. Since then, if you watch it, it shows its age. It's not. The rewatchability is hard on this one. Well, one, I mean, you already know the ending. Fucking thing's gonna sink. I mean, like, come on, get real. It's the Titanic. I mean, we know what happens.
Spoiler.
And the only way to make it interesting was to throw a romance on there that had to somehow run its course within the couple days and then sink. And kind of that's how my feelings are, It's a very quick romance for me on this one. I'm not blinded by the goggles of the tragedy. I'm not blinded by my desire to want something great around that tragedy. I don't think the romance is that great. I think the best part of it is the second half of the movie when they're trying to get off the ship. And then they fuck it up by not giving him room on the door. I mean, things like that. But because of the performances, I personally think this is a particularly average movie for me. Like, this is one I will not watch again, probably, because it's so fucking long. And I don't think it's so exceptional for all those, because Fabrizio alone cost this movie 5 points. Just fucking accent alone. So I give this 13 cans.
13, okay. So I do got, before I rate it, throw in one other story. I think I might have mentioned this before in an older podcast. I don't remember. I feel like I did at some point, but I do remember one funny story about this. So back in the day when I worked for a pizza place, east of Chicago, it's my first job.
Yeah.
Making pizzas. The one girl worked there. She was the shift manager. I just remember, because this was after, Titanic had come out and everything.
I think I know the story.
You do, yes. Her husband, I think it was, it was like thrown out, basically. It was like basically a Oscars copy of it.
Yes.
That you get to view ahead of time, whatever. So it was like, basically, I guess, like damaged from being thrown out. But she said this is before, so this is like, back when, this is before the digital age and you could get stuff like early, like we have now, and things like that, before pirating or anything like that. So she said she would play it on her TV, and if she watched it from the reflection off their fish tank, I think it was,
that's awesome.
See it just fine. So I was like, man, that's Boy Scout shit.
Yeah, you did. I remember you telling me that story. Telling me that story. So,
I had to bring it up again since we're doing Titanic. Okay, so for me, I do think Titanic's a great movie. I don't think it's the best fucking movie ever made, so shut up with that. But the easiest way for me to rate this, and I do understand, I would say initially I was like, it's got to at least be a 20. I mean, it's a fucking worldwide phenomenon. We had some great actors in it. You can bitch about their acting all you want. And again, the story it told, I enjoyed, even knowing what was going to happen at the end, but was going to sink. So the easiest thing for me to do was to work just backwards from a perfect score. So, got a point off for Fabrizio.
That's too weak. That's too weak for that fucking accent.
Now down to a 23. Got a point off for saving the heart of the ocean, then dumping it in the fucking ocean at the end with all the good you could have done with that. That's a point off. We've got the spitting scene that I can't fucking stand. That's a point off. And then 3 more points off for Celine Dion. So I give it an 18.
My wife. Why would you do her dirty? Well, she did me dirty.
She did you wrong.
She did me wrong. All right. What's that put us at, man?
That's at 15 and a half.
Oh, so what does that, what do we have that we would say we'd rather watch or watch just as much as Titanic?
Let's see here. House Party is 15.25.
I'd watch that before I'd watch Titanic again, actually.
Yeah, totally. 15.75, Men in Black.
Better movie.
We got anything else nearby there? 15.25, Matrix Reloaded.
Ooh, I'd watch it before this, but it wouldn't be like comfortable.
15.75, Scream.
I'd watch that before this. I'd probably give it a lower score.
15 and a half, Matching, Tin Cup.
Ooh, yeah, Tin Cup's has some good parts in it.
Now see, 15 and a half, same score. I went 17, you went 14 on Tin Cup.
Yeah, a little better than this
And
movie.
let's just fucking, because we have to, 15.25, Furious 7.
I gave that a much higher score.
19 and a half, you gave Furious 7.
That's a way better movie than this. I mean, tell me which one you'd rather watch right now. If we said, we got to watch a movie and it's either Furious 7 or Titanic.
I'd literally probably have to flip a coin. 15 and a half, Working Girl.
Let that river run.
Boom.
Yeah.
15 and a half, The Strangers.
That's a better movie to me. I like it better. Isn't that sad how many movies I think are better? Well, we haven't got anywhere. I gave it...
Here we go. 15 and a half, Grease 2.
I love Grease 2.
Who doesn't?
That gave probably a 19 or 18 or something.
Grease 2, you gave it 17. I gave it 14.
We both... Yeah, I mean, overall, we like... it's a better movie.
I think we love that movie higher than we rated it, I will say.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Maybe I did. But Michelle Pfeiffer's so hot. Okay, so let me get it. I'm such a dumbass. All right.
No. I'd much rather you go into Michelle Pfeiffer so hot other than I was Celine Dion's ex-husband.
I wish I'd had that dream with Michelle Pfeiffer back then, but I did not, sadly.
You were definitely washing the sheets the next morning if you did.
We would like to thank you for listening. We also remind you to join our Patreon so you can get some of that bonus content and other fun stuff. Remember, you can go to sodapopcultureclub.com for all things related to the show, including your chance to make movie suggestions. And our episode schedule is there as well. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, you name it. We do it. Usually, well, not as much as we should. Anthony does not socialize media very well.
I'm not social.
I would have to say you are the worst at social media that I've ever met.
I'm not a social butterfly. I'm a goddamn caterpillar.
Under 50.
Caterpillar.
You're a caterpillar?
I'm not a social butterfly.
You're just, let's get you into your cocoon. Let's get your chrysalis completed. So, is there anything else you want to say? Or are we done with this?
I think that's it. Appreciate you guys listening. Happy Monday.